We now have, just walking into the room, our second place winner, Diah from Indonesia, for her project on the guiding lights of the archipelago. Diah.
Well, thank you. I didn't expect to do it twice in a day. But this is a more, I hope, a more appreciating audience and those who really want to listen to the story. It's a very short story. It's a journey. Actually, it's a journey. We are now in our third year into our adventure and endeavor. And I would like to share what we have done, where we will go, and I think the hopes for a better Indonesia. Where is the slide? Oh, good. Okay. So this is where I begin by saying that 3 years ago today, 28 October 2012, was the day when I stand before a crowd of young people. Not a crowd, actually, a group. 32 of them, everyone was below 30 years old, graduated with a health background, bachelor's degree, most of them medical doctors, nurses, midwives, and public health practitioners. They say they wanted to serve their country. They didn't know yet where they will go, but they know they will live there in a place, in a remote place for a year. And they say they declare their readiness to serve. This is, hold on. Okay, so this is Indonesia. What can I say? It's huge. It's an archipelago, 17,000 plus islands. There are 254 million people, last counted. More than 72,000 villages, 511 districts, 34 provinces. So it's huge. You can pick an island and go live and deal with whatever you face there. This is, if you Google right now, you search and you put in keywords, Indonesia, beautiful islands, beautiful scenery, or bucket list. This is what you will see. This is in Ende, in eastern part of Indonesia, in east Nusa Tenggara. And this is also Indonesia. This scene is often overlooked, or perhaps we just elected not to see. Torn communities, torn by disaster, communities very underdeveloped, no electricity, no roads, basically nothing, infrastructure is non-existent. This is also Indonesia. And it is there that those 32 young pioneers back in 2012, there they say they wanted to live. Now it's already 3 batches. Everybody has come back home safely, thank God, because I signed their work agreement. Everybody came, 102 of them for 3 batches. They stay for a year, work in teams of 5, and their key objective is to facilitate and change the mindset of the people that to embrace health as an integral part of livelihood. And it is very difficult, especially if you live in areas so deprived and you feel that you are left behind by development and by the rest of the country. It is really difficult in changing their mindset. But after 3 years, the teams managed to turn the mindsets of the people there and to strengthen the primary healthcare in each of the 7 locations. There, they fill the gap of unmet need of competent healthcare professionals that give medical services to the people there in remote locations. But they also work in communities. Actually, this slide is the next to final slide, different than the ones I used this morning, but the message is the same. They fill in the gap for primary healthcare, and they also work in community. 70% of their time is spent in the community, working with the community to do community empowerment program, promotion, and prevention as the backbone of strengthening primary healthcare. And if we ask why, because previously, recruitment, selection, deployment system was not transparent at all. That was changed. And why go through all the hassle? Because it is necessary to change. Because health is for all. It's for everyone, whether you live in city, whether you can access healthcare easily, or whether you live in very, very remote islands. To give you an example, one location in Indonesia, if you go from the capital city, from Jakarta to the capital city of a province, and then to a village, it can take you up to 5 to 7 days. You have to use airplanes, and then land transportation, and then you walk even further, or you take a very small boat to reach. So it takes 5 to 7 days. And it is very, very important that those people who live so far away without access to healthcare can access public service that is efficient, that is high in quality, transparent, and accountable. And after 3 years, in the beginning of 2015, the 7 locations, the guiding lights of the archipelago, that is the translation of Pencerah Nusantara, expanded into a national program. It's adopted, replicated, and upscaled by the national government, and it's expanded into 120 locations. And the main reason it's implemented is because the president promised that no one will be left behind by development. So, in order to do that, you need to start from the periphery inwards. That is why the 120 locations now are at the borders of Indonesia. And I think I would like to close by going back to the point where I met the initial 32, the first batch of Pencerah Nusantara. I think in the 3 years that we have, that our journey has continued right now, our lives has changed. People's lives at the 7 locations have changed, hopefully for the better. And if we talk about being transformative, I think transformation is well on its way. The numbers have grown, and they can speak for themselves. It's from 32, now 849 health workers being deployed to remote locations all over Indonesia, from 7 locations to 120, from 120,000 beneficiaries to now approximately 2.5 million people beneficiaries, and still growing. So I think it's an honor for me to stand here presenting Pencerah Nusantara to you all, and giving you proof that equal partnerships between government, civil society, and the private sector can actually push for change. It's a force. Actually, it's a very powerful force to push for change in the betterment of public service. So I hope what is initiated in Pencerah Nusantara, the guiding light that is intended to be, can continue to be the beacon it is for a better Indonesia. I thank you.
Thank you, Diah, and congratulations to Indonesia on the second place. The fireworks were going off for you, I think.